Manila, Philippines. Tensions in the South China Sea intensified this week as the Philippines lodged a formal protest against China's announcement of a new nature reserve on the highly disputed Scarborough Shoal. The move, unveiled by Beijing on Wednesday, has reignited long-standing disagreements between the two nations over sovereignty, resources and maritime control. The Scarborough Shoal, known in the Philippines as Panatag Shoal and in China as Huangyan Island, has been at the centre of repeated confrontations for more than a decade. Both nations claim it as their own, and the waters around it have witnessed naval standoffs, fishing boat clashes, and sharp diplomatic exchanges. Now, China's declaration of a marine reserve in the area is adding yet another layer of complexity to an already volatile dispute. According to Chinese state media, the proposed nature reserve would span 3,523.67 hectares, approximately 8,707 acres, with its primary focus being the preservation and sustainability of the coral reef ecosystem. Beijing insists the reserve is a conservation effort designed to protect biodiversity and ensure environmental stability. However, officials in Manila see it as a direct challenge to Philippine sovereignty and an attempt by China to cement its control of the contested waters under the guise of ecological stewardship. In its official response, the Philippines wasted no time in voicing strong opposition. A statement issued by the Department of Foreign Affairs condemned the move as illegal under international law and a violation of Manila's rights in the West Philippine Sea. For the Philippine government, the issue is not just about environmental conservation, but about sovereignty, access to resources, and adherence to global maritime rules. Philippine officials pointed to the 2016 ruling by the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, which invalidated China's sweeping claims to much of the South China Sea. The tribunal ruled that Beijing had no legal basis for its so-called nine-dash line, a demarcation China uses to assert sovereignty over vast stretches of the sea, including the Scarborough Shoal. Although the ruling was legally binding, China rejected it outright and has since strengthened its presence in contested waters through militarization, artificial island building, and now ecological projects framed as conservation. For Manila, Beijing's latest move feels like history repeating itself. In recent years, China has often justified its activities in disputed waters by citing environmental or scientific purposes, while simultaneously increasing its strategic footprint. The Scarborough Shoal, which lies just 124 nautical miles from the Philippine island of Luzon, is considered a vital fishing ground and a strategic maritime choke point. Philippine fishermen frequently rely on its waters for their livelihoods, but they have long reported being harassed or blocked by Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels. Officials in Manila emphasize the impact on local communities. The livelihoods of thousands of Filipino fishermen are at stake, and any move that tightens Chinese control risks deepening economic and social strains in coastal towns. For the Philippine government, standing up against this initiative is both a matter of national pride and a responsibility to its people. The announcement from Beijing, however, was presented in an entirely different light. Chinese authorities described the reserve as a forward-looking project to safeguard marine life. They highlighted the importance of preserving the coral reefs that form the foundation of the shoal's ecosystem, arguing that maintaining ecological balance is critical to the long-term health of the South China Sea. But the timing of the announcement is difficult to ignore, coming amid heightened US-China tensions and renewed maritime patrols by American forces in the region. Manila sees the nature reserve as more than just an environmental project. Instead, it interprets the move as Beijing's latest attempt to assert de facto sovereignty without engaging in direct confrontation. The Philippines, meanwhile, has sought international support in the face of China's actions. The government has consistently appealed to allies and partners, including the United States, Japan and Australia, to reinforce the 2016 tribunal ruling and to call out what Manila sees as Beijing's violations of international law. With this latest development, officials are expected to intensify their diplomatic efforts, urging the global community not to remain silent. Analysts suggest that the establishment of a nature reserve could pave the way for China to restrict fishing and navigation around the shoal, effectively excluding Philippine access while claiming ecological justification. In practice, this could mean tighter patrols, more confrontations at sea, and further militarization under the cover of conservation. For the Philippines, the protest lodged on Thursday is not just about the Scarborough Shoal, it is about setting a precedent. If China's reserve goes unchallenged, it could embolden similar moves in other disputed areas of the South China Sea, from the Spratly Islands to the Paracels. Each of these regions carries not only environmental significance, but also major strategic and economic stakes, from fishing grounds to potential oil and gas reserves. While Beijing continues to emphasize the ecological framing of its project, Manila insists that environmental protection must go hand in hand with legality, transparency, and respect for sovereignty. In the words of one Filipino